Hi, this is Vinney Chopra. Thank you for again joining on my podcast, Apartment Syndication Made Easy. As you know, I wrote that book, which is a top seller in Amazon. Internationally also got a lot of acclaim, reviews and all. And this podcast is about syndication, about commercial investing. I like to bring great guests for you and dig into their story, their successes, and find out some nuggets from them so that you could really enjoy them and learn from them and then implement them.
Thank you, my viewers. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm here, right here. Once again, my name is Ola Ibiwoye, and I'm here at the CPC podcast show, Commercial Property Club podcast. And what we practically do is, we serve investors with commercial real estate knowledge. You must agree with me that with knowledge, you can invest wisely. With knowledge, you can go places you've never been before when it comes to income producing property. And today is another day in which we're going to be adding value to you, value in the commercial real estate spaces, asset classes like apartments, senior living, retail, and so many other income producing properties out there. But today specifically, I'm going to be diving deep in the aspect of apartment syndication today. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful show that I have today. And what can I do today other than to bring the best in the industry? And I'm talking about a giant. When I say giant, you will see what I'm talking about. And other than that, I would like to say one or two things about him before I introduce him formally. He's a wonderful man, a man I met a few years ago, and he's done great things in the apartment syndication space. He came to America with just $7. And today, he's grown that $7 to about $650 million asset under management. $7 to $650 million. That's a bold jump. But today, we'll be hearing from him, actually. His name is Vinney Chopra. I'm going to talk about him a little bit. He's a syndicator. He's an investor, both in apartments and in senior living. And he's also a writer also, too. And without too much talking about, he has so many things I want to talk about him today. But as we dive into every topic he's going to talk about today, we'll be seeing him unfolding himself to you guys. When I say he's a giant, indeed he is a giant. $6,500. When I say dollars, I mean units of apartments right now. And that's cumulatively $650 million. Indeed, he has something to share, which I call value. Without no further, expansion of who Vinney is, I'm going to introduce to you today Vinney Chopra. Vinney Chopra, you can speak right now and talk to my audience, right?
Thank you, Ola. Thank you. It's such a privilege to be on your show.
Yes,
I'm so excited. I hope I can bring some great value, some enthusiasm, some smiles, and some golden nuggets to your audience. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. Today, we're going to be talking about value-add informations.
Yes.
We want to know about how it started, how he was able to get to where he is today. And some of the questions I'll be asking today, several years back, you remember when I came in as a student also too in your academy, the Multifamily Syndication Academy. I remember so well we had this conversation over the phone. And my life has never been the same again because today you mentored me and also too, you grafted me into your mastermind. And not only that, you also brought me into the confines and the folds of your partners in some of the syndications that you did. Today, I'll be asking some questions that can add value to my audience out there on the real estate syndication. So how did you start in real estate syndication business?
Sure. Ola, actually, I came from India, as you mentioned. I'm a mechanical engineer. I worked with a
Yes.
very big company back in Bombay. I grew up
Okay.
in New Delhi, India, the capital. I
Yeah.
came to George Washington University to do my master's in business
Mm.
administration in marketing. I really thought, engineering and marketing, I can make a
Okay.
good living in this land of opportunity. But
Okay.
little did I know when I was selling books to earn tuition for my college,
Okay.
university fees, I realized I'm really good in talking to people and
Wow.
relationship building and selling. And I love the rejection and I love to really pound on the pavement and all that. Anyway, I closed my engineering books many years back and I got into fundraising,
Oh wow.
presentations, business speaking, all that. And I stayed that, in Ohio, by the way, some of you might know, Ohio, Findlay, Ohio, then Bowling Green, Ohio. Then I moved to West Coast. Now, there
Okay.
is a correlation there. We were young. My wife and I are celebrating this weekend 42nd years of lovely
For the
marriage.
second year. Wow. Wow. Congratulations for that.
Happily married. We have two children, Neil and Monica. That's
Okay.
why our company's name is Monil, which
O'Neill.
is Monica and Neil combined. So
Okay.
that's the legacy we are
Okay.
hopefully building for our children. And Monica is
Awesome.
fully involved in the business. I just spent last week in Florida on
Hmm.
business and
Yeah.
pleasure. And Sarasota gave some really good presentations and all. But let's talk about real estate. How I got in was when we moved to the West Coast, we lived near San Francisco in
Hmm.
Danville, Blackhawk Country Club. And my friends were in real estate. What? So your peers actually do wonders for you when they
Hmm.
start talking about real estate because that's what it's all about. So that's when we started buying single family homes.
Okay.
We bought our first home, our own home, for $99,000. What?
Okay.
And it's maybe
Wow.
million five right now, 15 times,
Wow.
at least that appreciation. But the key thing is real estate is something everybody should really dig into. That's how
Hmm.
I got started in single family homes. Then in 2005,
Hi, you are listening to Syndication Made Easy podcast. We will be right back after this short break.
hi, thank you so much. This is Vinney Chopra, and thank you for subscribing to my podcast and YouTube channel and Facebook pages and all the great things, and LinkedIn. Connect with me. I come live to you every Friday at 9:30 Pacific with Vinney and Bo Show. Please also look at that. And also the podcast, which is my apartment syndication made easy. The book I wrote a couple of years back became international top seller on Amazon International now. And then we like to bring great guests for you every week or twice a week sometime to give you a lot of great knowledge. So please subscribe. You give us 5-star reviews on the iTunes. The better the guests we can bring, and our ranking will go higher also. Thanks again for following us and really getting the most out of it. Please comment, like, share, because we would love to bring better and better material for you. In single family homes, then in 2005, I wanted to take a jump. I said, the single family homes is not going to pay for my kids' tuition. It's not going to pay for big cash flows. It's not going to build our nest egg.
Okay.
That's when I joined into multifamily.
Multifamily. Wow. Wow.
It's 17
Wow.
years back. I made a decision. So overnight success, people say it's overnight. I say, well, it's overnight, took 15 years.
It took 15 years. And you said it right there. There is really no great success that is overnight. And you quite explained everything right there. And a lot of times, people just see you and they think you just jumped out of the blues just like that, as if it's an overnight thing. And I've always known that, success, you have to build success.
Yes.
Overtime is an overtime thing. It's a journey. I always say this, that success is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon. In other words, marathon is longer than a sprint. When you do 100 meters, you sprint, you're done. But building great legacy, like you talked about right now, it's stack over stack, and until you attain that greatness. Awesome. So multifamily syndication. Tell us, how is somebody out there that is hearing you right now? What is the number one thing he's supposed to do to start?
Very good point. I definitely want to tell everybody, I know you said some numbers, 6,500 doors. It started from single family, a single family home, to duplex. We still own the duplex. My wife and I, we still own the duplex still in Odessa, Texas. Yeah. And then it took me 9 months or 11 months actually to get my 14 units. So please remember, you got to go through these sequences and really be determined that you will do your level best to look at a lot of deals to buy your 4-plex or 8-plex or 10-plex. Yes. In my case, it was 14 units for $180,000.
Oh, wow.
Took me 11 months to get it.
11 months.
11 months. So you got to be persistent. You got to be undying desire that it's going to happen. You got to be positive. That's why I wrote that book, Positivity Brings Profitability. Because the thing is, in life, we go ups and downs, always. It's the attitude, it's the zeal, the excitement, the momentum, because you learn things. You talk to brokers, you look at deals, you figure out if they're going to make sense or not. You're going to get the loan, you got to get the down payment. But it's much easier to get 14 units or 12 units than a single family home. Yeah, that's the beauty of it, because you have 12 renters or residents, we call it, giving you money, rent.
Yes.
And then there are expenses, but at the end of the day, you have money left over, which is the net income. And that's what the banks look for. They look at the net profit or NOI, net operating income, to give us the loan. So it's much easier to buy an 8-unit property than a 1-unit, single family home. So what's syndication? You asked me that. Yeah. Syndication, many people think is a big gorilla. Okay. I always see that. It's a 600-pound gorilla. It's not. It's not. And that's why I wrote the book, Syndication Made Easy.
Yeah, which is,
Well, oh, yeah, thank you. There it is. It's like you are getting investors, your family, your friends, your circle of all the great people that who are like-minded, and they want to entrust you, give you as a partner. See, the investors are partners of yours. And then you find a deal, maybe 8 units, maybe 10, 12 units, or 20 units, or 100 units, right? But you find a great deal, you underwrite it. Underwrite meaning you look at the numbers, you look at the projections, how you're going to value add. That's your show. Yes. Value add, increase the rents, decrease the expenses, and we can dig more deeper into it.
Absolutely.
I've done it so many times, times, I've done 39 syndications so far.
Just 39, wow.
Like almost, I think the last, year and a half, I've done 12 of them, 10 or 12, just in the last year and a half during COVID. Can you believe it? So essentially, it's getting the pooling of the money together to buy real estate. That's syndication. So it's a very simple thing if you look at it that way. Why do we people syndicate? That's a good question. If you have all the money you need for down payment, for closing cost, and you can qualify for the loan, you need to syndicate.
True.
You put your own money, down payment, You get the loan and all the profits are yours.
True.
But to scale it up, we'll run out of the money, right?
True.
Especially we don't want to use all our savings and put it into the, purchase of one property or two or three. We want to have cash flow and diversify our portfolio, I call it, right?
Yes.
Some in stock, some in crypto, some in precious metals, and all that stuff, plus real estate. Real estate is the biggest thing, category, which gives you tax breaks. What do I mean by that? Stock market, when you want to buy Google, you have to pay $332, $3,300 some dollars to buy one share of stock. The bank will not loan you money. They can give you margin. They call it margin, but you have to pay interest, but you can be called anytime to pay back the margin, right?
Yeah.
But they don't give you a loan for 10 years loan and say, oh, we love this property. And we will partner with you. You found this property and 70% will pay you, 30% you bring down payment.
Okay.
But guess what? If you make 200% increase in the equity, we will not take any money off the equity. We'll give you all of that to you.
Okay.
Wow, what a deal. What a deal.
Yes. Awesome. I mean, another question I would like you to probably broaden more for my audience is the aspect of capital raising.
Yes.
Can you elaborate more on the capital raising side of things? Because sometimes, you have the deal, but the capital is not coming. What is 3 things that investors today that maybe never used to work in the past, but today is relevant when it comes to raising capital?
Totally. Craig, you have a legal structure because there is SEC ruling, we call it, Securities and Exchange Commission rules and regulations, where you have to register your security. If you're selling or raising money for any purpose, it's a security. So you have to really do an exemption, we call it Rule D, Regulation D, where you get an exemption for family and friends. I'm not an attorney or a CPA. I want to say that. But the key thing is 506B is the most of the time people take an exemption. If you would write it down, many of you might already know. But the key thing is you have to educate the investors before you get the deal. All right. Because when you get the deal, then the clock freezes. And you can talk to all the people you already have built relationships with before you got the deal to ask them to invest into the deal. In 506B. In C, it's accredited investors. And that is making 200,000 or 300 at the family or $1 million net worth, not including your personal residence and all that. But the thing is, in that one, you can advertise and then you could deal with anybody before or after. You don't need a family and friend pre-existing relationship. It's called substantial pre-existing relationship, which I explained in the book that you just mentioned there, because it's very important that in the first exemption, which is 90% of the fundraising is done in that way, capital raising is done that way, you got to cultivate your investors. And that's why I say in the book also, there are circles of influences, right? We start from the closest to us, our family. Next to them are uncle and aunts, distant cousins and neighbors. That's all family, right? Right there. Then we get into our circle of influence with our jobs. Then we get a little bit further with our family friends. All right. And then you expand outside with clubs and wealth organizations and all that. There are 6 different circles that you could cultivate. I call it cultivate seed. You got to throw the seeds
Absolutely.
and educate people so that they can believe in your mission, and then they will jump into their savings or money, and then you're going to buy.
Awesome. I'm glad you elaborate on the capital raising aspect of things. Now, when you look at the capital raising aspect of things, you have the capital stacked up. You have your investors stacked up, either the sophisticated or the accredited investors stacked up. What about the deal flow of things? The aspect of deal flow. How in today's current situation of things, how would you say you could stack up the deal flow aspect of things also too? Because if you have the capitals, you don't have the good deals to go with it. What is working right now?
No, I'm so glad, Ola. This is a $1 million question, what you just asked. See, it's just not raising money. You got to deploy those funds. Otherwise, if you don't have a good deal, come on this side, you have to join the investors with a deal, right?
Absolutely.
But if there is no deal and you are warming the investors and everybody, they say, Ola, bring the deal, right? You know, so you got to start building relationships. That's my third plate, I call it in my book. First one is the teams, forming your teams. Second is the investor relationships and cultivating investors. Third plate, spinning of the third plate, I call it, the broker relationships. So before you get into the third plate, you got to ascertain which neighborhoods you're going to purchase the multifamily or storage units or mobile home parks or anything, right? So that's where is the beauty of it, to do studies and figure out where jobs are moving to, where new Starbucks are opening, where new Best Buys are opening up, in what area of the town, in the outside tertiary markets. Because what we are finding with COVID right now, people have expanded. I mean, the engineers don't have to come to work in a physical building.
I know.
Work remotely. So essentially, we want to build the relationships with the brokers so that, and also call mom and pops through different softwares and everything, call out centers and all, or sending letters or cards or texts, so that you could find a off-market deal, which is, by the way, hard. Let me just say that right now. The market is oversaturated right now. I mean, there is less product, more demand. People want to buy.
That much, yes.
Amazing. And to your listeners, I'm so pumped up, if you will agree, if I can share something very, very tremendous.
Absolutely. Go on.
Life. This is my biggest home run ever in the last 15 years. I purchased a property, multifamily, in Austin, Texas, near to the Domain. I purchased it in September 2020 in the COVID. Because I knew engineers are moving to Austin, right? I'm an engineer too. So I said, that's a good money, because I was collecting 98% of the rents in my Melbourne property, Princeton Park. I think you're invested in it.
No, it's the Bentley, the one in Orlando.
Bentley is selling. Bentley is selling right now. We paid.
But I know when the OM of Princeton came out. I know about the Princeton.
Now Princeton Park, we're still keeping it, but then Austin, our property there, 308 units, I'm selling it. Wow. I paid 35 million, give or take, selling it for 62,700,000.
Oh,
less than 2 years.
That's an home run.
That's the biggest home run ever. I never predicted it. I'm not that strong. I'm not that intelligent, skilled man at all. But it just happened to be that the